taken by the Gems. And on the other end, that's a quick shot. That is up, and that is no good. Offensive rebound is up, and that is good. And that is for the Gems, number 4, So. So puts it up and in for 2. And that is how this one starts off. And it's 2-0 Gems very quickly. So taking it to the other end. So driving it down. She's caught up to, but then she puts it up, and that is no good. And on the offensive board, that is number 1, Shea. So Shea passes it outside to Reingold. Reingold over to the left. That is Falk. Falk guarded by Kolath. Gets a pick. Dish it outside. And there's a whistle. And they're going to get the Gems with an offensive foul. And so back it comes to OSP. The score 2-0 here in the early going of this 8th grade girls game here at the Panther Classic. My name is Jeremy Scott. Got to send a shout out to Jeff Ferguson, Caleb Graham, and all the people helping to make it happen on the administrative end. John Ferguson helping out as well. On the other end, there's a quick shot. That's up from the baseline. That's up. That's no good. Rebounded by the Gems. Outlet pass. That's up top to So. So on the other end. Hesitates, puts it up. That's no good, and that's taken by number 15, Hughes. And so OSP has the ball once again. Hughes, guarded by Falk. Hughes looking for somebody to pass it to. Finally does find somebody to pass it to. She finds Fry. That's Fry with it. Fry tied up, has the ball taken away from her, goes off of Fry, and comes right back to OSP. So a fortuitous bounce there for OSP. Bounce pass underneath, and having some problems getting that ball up, but finally putting it up and in there. That was Hughes for 2, and the score 2-2. OSP ties the Hidden Gems. That's Falk playing the point for the Gems. She gets a pick. Falk, bounce pass to the right wing. That's to Reingold. Reingold's going to step back, take a shot. That's up, that's no good. That's rebounded by Johnson. And that's Kolath. Kolath's going to bring the ball up the floor and play the point here for OSP. She's met by Sal. That shot is up. That's a bank shot up and good. And that was Fry for 2. So they're going to say her foot was on the line, but OSP does take the lead. It's 4-2. Falk at the point. Met by Kolath. Falk with a drive. Fouled on her way up, and she's going to get fouled by Kolath. That's the first foul on OSP, but Falk is going to step up to the charity stripe with a chance to tie this ball game here in the first half. Don't forget, of course, we will have action for you all day long here at the Panther Classic. Here at Capital University in the shadows of Columbus in Bexley as Falk puts in the first foul shot. 4-3 the score. Couple of substitutions here for the Gems. Matter of fact, 3. As Falk awaits the ball for a chance to tie the game. Falk's second shot is up, and swish. Nothing with the bottom of the net. 4-4 the score. And Falk's going to check out of this game, and checking in will be Lenahan. So Lenahan and Falk out here for the Gems. OSP with possession, as Kolath will play the point, bring the ball up the floor. Kolath almost loses it. Gets it back. She's met by Lenahan. Kolath on the right wing. Dribbles it behind her back and loses it. Loses it to Lenahan. Lenahan with it. Push the ball up the floor. Lenahan with the pass. Over it comes underneath the hoop. Up and no good. Lenahan gets it back. Offensive board for the Gems. Underneath the hoop. Into the low post. Pivoting. Putting it up. That's no good. And loose ball is taken by the Gems. So the Gems with a couple of offensive boards on this possession. And turning around, taking the shot, that's up. That's no good for Jennings, and it's finally taken by OSP. So a few opportunities there for the Gems to do something, but not able to put any points on the board, and OSP has the ball once again with the score tied at 4. On to the right wing. That is Fry. Fry tied up. Okay, and there's going to be a 3-second violation. That 3-second violation on Cummings. So Cummings caught camping in the paint a little too long, and so it comes back to the Gems. Lenahan playing the point. Lenahan has the ball taken away. Very nice defense there by Kolath, and there's a loose ball, but it's Jennings who ends up with it for the Gems. And there's going to be a three-point attempt from way outside. That's an air ball. Goes out of bounds for Lenahan, and so it's OSP's ball once again. Kolath gets a pick from Cummings. Cummings has it. Dishes it outside. Thinking about a three as Fry decides to dribble it inside underneath the hoop and then passes it. That's going to be a three-point attempt. That's up. That's short. And offensive board there for OSP. And outside it comes to Kolath. Kolath is going to pass up the three-point attempt. Pass outside. That's Fry for three. That's up. That is going to be short. Taken there by Cummings, and Cummings has it partially blocked, and it's Gems' ball once again. There's a tie-up, and the possession arrow will favor OSP. Good job there on the part of OSP to tie that ball up, and it's going to stay on that end. Referee has a few words with the players. Fry to inbound. Fry inside. That's a three-point attempt. That's up. That's no good for Cummings. And it's Gems who have it. That's Jennings who has it, and she has it poked away from behind by Cummings. Kolath ends up with it. So some good defensive work here on both ends. Fry on the outlet pass, passes it underneath into the low post, putting it up. Having it rattle out on her was Nilsson. I'm sorry, that's not Nilsson. That was Hughes. As Fry has it now. Fry has it partially blocked, and there's a foul on the Gems. So that'll be the second Gems foul. Ball will stay at this end. As a matter of fact, Fry is going to step up to the charity stripe with a chance at two. Fry with a few practice dribbles, puts it up, and it's good. 5-4 the score. So Williams checks in and Johnson checks out. Second free throw forthcoming here for Fry. She's got 3 points with a chance to make it 4. And unable to do so. That is no good. Offensive rebound, though, for OSP. Up top to Fry. Fry, bounce pass outside to Williams. Williams tries to pass underneath, and it's going to go off of the Gems. She was looking for Cummings in the low post there, and it was a little too high, but fortunately, if you're an OSP fan, went off of the Gems and out of bounds. So inbounds it comes to Cummings. Into the right corner, that's Kolath, who will attempt a three-pointer. That's up, that's no good. And chasing it down, well, Gems had a chance at it. That was Townsend, who had a good look at corralling that loose ball, but it went off of her hands and out of bounds, so it remains OSP ball. Fry to inbound this ball. Inbounds to Kolath. Behind her back. Fry for three. That is going to bounce over the backboard and out of bounds, so it goes back to the Gems. The Gems down by 1. 5-4 the score here in the early going. 8:18 to go in the first half. 8th grade game here at the Panther Classic, Capital University. Gems on offense. Into the paint. That's up, and that is good, and the Gems have the lead. That was Nilsson who put it up for 2, and the score 6-5. And losing it on the other end is Cummings, and it's going to be a foul on the Gems. And substitutions forthcoming here for OSP. Taking a rest will be Cummings and Fry. And then a line change here forthcoming for the Gems. 5 in, 5 out, and it's OSP's ball. That is Gupta inbounding it. She does to Kolath. Kolath, jump stop, shot, no good. And it's taken by the Gems. And that is Falk who's back into the ball game. Gives it off to Pentrak. Up top to Shea. On the left wing, stepping back, will attempt a three-pointer. That is up, no good. And that was a good look by Reingold. Just wasn't able to put the ball in the hoop. And OSP has this one back. Onto the right wing. Dribbling into the paint, putting it up and having it blocked. That was Williams. And Williams got fouled on her way up, and so Williams will step up to the foul line for 2. Williams. Short on the first free throw attempt. Her team down 1, so she could tie it right here. Williams' second shot is up, and that one's good. Got a little more mustard on that second one to make the score 6-6. It is a tie ball game. Got a dandy here so far at the Panther Classic. Falk met by Kolath. She gives it off to Pentrak. Back up top to Shea. She gives off to the right wing. Falk for 3. Rims out on her. Offensive board. That one's up. That's no good. Rebounded by Williams. And so OSP gets this one back with a chance to take the lead once again. Kolath taking it coast to coast. Bounce pass underneath. Nice looking pass. That's up. That's no good. And it's rebounded by the Gems. Falk pushing the ball down the floor. Falk's going to take it herself, put it up, and no good. And it's rebounded by OSP. So taking it coast to coast did not work out for Falk that time. OSP gets the ball back. Kolath with the ball. Kolath met by Falk. Kolath into the paint. Puts up with the left hand. That's up and good. Good job there by her. Her first 2 of the game. And the score is 8-6. OSP back on top by a pair. Falk calling out the play. There's Pentrak with it now. And a timeout is called on the floor. 8-6 the score with 6:06 to play here in the first half. We'll be back right here at the Panther Classic. Back here at the Panther Classic, it's an 8th grade game between OSP and the Hidden Gems. Right now, OSP up by 2. Inbounds it comes. That is over to Falk. Falk up top. She's playing the point, met by Kolath. She gives it off to Pentrak. Pentrak guarded by Coriel. And it's given off to Reingold. And there's a wide open look underneath. That is up, and that is good for the Gems. And that was number 4, So, who has 4 points, and the score is 8-8 now. So has half of her team's total. On to the right wing to Nilsson. Over to Kolath. Kolath bounce pass underneath into the low post. That's up. That's no good, and it's rebounded by So. So the Gems get the ball back, and they have the chance to take the lead once again. And they're going to get So with the travel. She was tied up there near half court. And they're going to say that there was no tie-up. As a matter of fact, she had clean possession of it and just walked with it. And so it'll be Williams inbounding here for OSP. Kolath playing the point once again. Kolath, Falk on her, gets a pick from Gupta. Gupta set the pick and then tried to cut it inside. Instead, there's a pass underneath, and nice looking pass there. That's up, and that is good. Coriel with her first 2. The score 10-8, OSP up by 2. As Falk calls out the play, gets a pick. Falk takes it herself underneath, puts it up and in. Falk with 4. The score 10-10. These teams keeping up with one another. There's Williams underneath, and she's fouled hard on her way up. So Williams, who's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe so far, gets a chance to go back, and she will have a chance to add to her total, and not only that, but also put her team back on top. And that, by the way, the 5th team foul on the Gems. As Williams puts the first free throw up and good. As Gupta will sit for OSP, checking back in Cummings. And Reingold just took a seat for the Gems as Williams is 3 for 4 from the foul line, and the score is 12-10. OSP with a 2-point advantage as Falk has it. Falk. Long three-point attempt. Short. And out of bounds it will go, and it'll go back to OSP. So Falk's three-pointer hit the front of the rim, off the backboard, and then bounced out of bounds. Nobody tracked it down, and so Ohio Sports Plus will get possession up 2. Kolath gets a pick. Kolath has it poked away from her as she entered the lane, and so it goes back to the Gems. Falk pushing the ball up the floor. Tried to find So. So wasn't really ready for that pass, and so she got a hand on it, but wasn't able to get set and get ready to catch that ball, and so it goes out of bounds, and OSP has the ball back. Kolath with the long pass. She finds Cummings. Cummings at the foul line. Passes off to Williams. Williams, short corner shot. That's up. That's no good. Offensive rebound. Back outside to Kolath. Kolath for 3. It is no good. It's short, and it's rebounded by Shea. Shea has it for the Gems, and Shea has it poked away from her, and they're going to say out of bounds, and who are they going to say this one is off of? That's the question. I do believe it's off of OSP, so it's Gems ball. And that will be Pentrack to inbound, and she does to Falk. Falk passes it off to Lenahan. Lenahan into the lane she goes. There's a floater that's up and good. Lenahan off of the run, put it up and put it in for 2, and so it's a tie ball game once again, 12-12. These teams, like I said, they are keeping up with one another. It's kind of becoming a track meet here in the early going as Kolath gets a pick and puts it up, and that's no good. And they're going to say the ball hit the top of the backboard, and that is out of bounds automatically, and so it's Gems ball. Now they have a chance to take the lead once again. We're at a little over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Pretty fast-moving 8th grade game here at the Panther Classic. And it's the Gems on offense. There's a dangerous pass, ill-advised pass, and it's taken by Hughes. Hughes had the ball taken away from her. It goes back to the Gems. Falk. Falk in the lane. Short corner shot. That's up, and it's a good shot there by 11 Pentrack. Her first 2 of the ball game, 14-12. The Gems have a 2-point lead, and there's a timeout on the floor called by OSP with 2.5 to play here in the first half, and we'll be back right here at the Panther Classic. Back at the Panther Classic, the score, the Gems 14, Ohio Sports Plus 12, OSP on offense. OSP gets the ball across half court, and they need to get it across for good, and they do not. There's a, kind of an errant pass there taken by the Gems. Gems back on offense. And that's Lenahan. Lenahan with a shot. That's a bank shot, good. 16-12. Gems on top by 4. Do believe this is the largest lead for either team, as on the other end Hughes puts it up, and that's no good. It's taken by Falk. So Falk trying to split the double team there at half court, and they don't call the kick ball. OSP wanted it, didn't get it. And that's a foul on Kolath. Kolath is called for a foul. That's only the second OSP team foul, as Williams will sit. And Johnson checks back in for OSP. So it's a very cleanly played game here. Like I said, that's only the second OSP team foul. As there's a shot that's up, that's no good for 3 for Lenahan, and went off of OSP and out of bounds. So the Gems keep it. Gems inbound it. That's Lenahan. Lenahan's got 4 so far. She hands it off to Reingold. Reingold. And her pivot foot left the floor, and that is a travel. And you could tell as soon as it happened, she knew the whistle was coming, and she was frustrated with herself and still is. But it comes back to OSP, who trails by 4. And on the other end, underneath the hoop, that's Hughes. Hughes with a little pump fake there. That's no good. Rebounded by Cummings. Cummings has it stripped away from her. Loose ball, and it's OSP who ends up with it. That's Kolath. Over it comes to Hughes. Hughes steps outside. Passes it back outside to Kolath, and there's a whistle. Why? Nope, that's a whistle from the other court. Kolath with a jump stop in the lane. That's up. That's no good, and that's taken away by number 10, Jennings. Townsend pushed the ball up the floor. Has it poked away by Kolath, but gets it back, and they're going to get Kolath with a block, and so that's the 3rd team foul on OSP. With 52.3 seconds to go here in the first half. The Gems lead by 4. The Gems with the ball. And that'll be Reingold to inbound it. As checking back into the ball game for the Gems is Nilsson, and sitting will be So. So Lenahan. Getting a pick. Lenahan's going to just take it herself and put it in there. 4-3. 19-12 the score. The Gems with the largest lead so far for either team. 7 points. We're under 30 seconds to go. There's a 3-point attempt on the other end, trying to answer OSP. That's no good. And it's taken by the Gems. Townsend's got it. Townsend dribbling the ball up the floor, gets it across half court. She gives it off to Lenahan. Lenahan. Over it comes to 15, Nilsson. Nilsson's going to take a shot. That's up, and it's a bank shot that's in there. So 21-12 is the score. We're at 10 seconds to go. OSP with a chance to cut into this lead as the teams will huddle up for the halftime show. And there's a shot that is up, and that is no good. Taken by the Gems, and I do believe that is how that first half will end. Yep, there is the buzzer. And so, heading into the halftime huddle, the score, the Gems 21, OSP 12. We'll be back with the second half right here on GBA TV. Back here at the Panther Classic, it is Jeremy Scott here courtside with you. This 8th grade girls game between OSP and the Hidden Gems. Right now, the Gems up 21-12 at the half, and the teams break the halftime huddle, and we are set to go, and that clock starts. And it's the Gems who control with a chance to increase their lead, possibly. On this possession, they could take a double-digit lead to start off the second half, and that would be a real boost for them if they could do that. And there's a shot on the drive. That's up no good, so not able to do that on their first possession of the game, and OSP has the ball back. Two Columbus teams here, by the way. OSP from the Dublin area and the Gems from the Powell area. So a lot of Central Ohio going on here, and there's a shot that is up, and that's a two-pointer, and that is good for OSP. That was Hughes, who now has 4 on the day, and the score 21-14. Little football score going on here. That's Falk trying to pass it in, and she does, and what a nice job there by Pentrack, not only to catch the ball with one hand, get good possession of it, but then put it up and in for 2, and her team now is up by 9 once again. That's Kolath. She gives it off to Fry. Fry puts it up. That's an air ball, and that's going to go out of bounds and go back to the Gems. Got to say thank you to a lot of people helping to make this happen, by the way. Jeff Ferguson, John Ferguson, Caleb Graham, and also Mr. Brian Williams, who is manning camera for us this game. We kind of pulled him out of the crowd and said, hey, you want a little part-time gig? He said, sure. So he's doing that for us. We appreciate him stepping up to the plate for us so we can bring you this action here at the Panther Classic. And there's a pass that goes out of bounds. Who are they going to say it's off of? I do believe they're going to say it is off of OSP. Yes, it is. It's just going to be Gems' ball, and that'll be Falk to inbound it. Up top. And then outside. That's Reingold, who passes up the shot and has it taken away by Fry. Fry on the steal. Pushing the ball up the floor. That is OSP. That is Cummings on the break. And she gives it off to Kolath. Kolath is going to pull it outside and reset everything, and OSP is going to reset its offense here. Kolath. Over it comes to Hughes. Back to Kolath. Long three-point attempt. That's up and that's short, and it's taken by OSP. So essentially that was a pass to the low post, and outside it goes to Cummings, who attempts a three-pointer. That's up and that's no good. Taken by Reingold. Then it's stolen back by OSP. And so OSP with a couple of opportunities here to get points into the paint. Putting it up and having it blocked, but she got fouled on her way up. That was Johnson, and so that's a foul. First team foul for either side the second half, and Johnson's going to step up to the charity stripe with a chance at 2. Johnson. First shot up, and it's long off the back of the iron, no good. 3 substitutions forthcoming here for the Gems. Townsend, Jennings, and Nilsson all into the ball game. As Johnson gets set for the second shot. It is up, and it's good. So she goes 1 for 2 at the line there, does Johnson, and the score 23-15. It's an 8-point advantage here for the Gems in the second half. Falk. Into the right corner. There's a pump fake. There's a drive to the baseline. That's up. That's no good. That's taken by OSP. It's Kolath on the rebound, and back comes Fry with it. Fry's got it for Ohio Sports Plus. Fry on the other end. Into the short corner she goes. She passes it back outside. That's Kolath. She'll attempt a three-pointer, and it rims out on her. That's no good. And chasing down the loose ball is Falk. Falk's got it for the Gems. Falk. The left wing. That's Shea. Shea attempts the shot. That's up. That's no good. And it goes off of the Gems. And that was Fry who was vying for it, and she had it knocked out of her hands, they say. And so Kolath has it. 3-point attempt on the other end. That's up. That's no good, and that's taken by the Gems. A lot of 3-point attempts here, and then it's taken away by Kolath, and then there's a tie-up. And who's got it? And that will remain white ball, so it remains down on this end as Williams checks in, and who will that be? That'll be Johnson checking out for Ohio Sports Plus as Falk checks out, and looks like Lenahan checks in for the Gems. Shea to inbound, and does. to Cummings. Into the right corner. There's a three-pointer by Colath. That's up. That's no good. That's taken by Shea. And it's the Gems ball now. Shea. Giving off to Lenahan. Lenahan calling out the offense. Playing the point. She gives it to Jennings. Jennings. Back to Shea. Shea. But I tell you what, that was a pass that they just couldn't handle. That was Nilsson who just mishandled that pass from Shea, and it went out of bounds. And so here comes the substitution for the Gems. That's number 31, Murray. And it looks like it'll be Townsend sitting. We're at a little over 10 minutes to play here in the second half, so a lot of time to go here for OSP, but a lot of ground for them to make up. They're down by 8. That's Fry. She's guarded by Murray. Fry. Try to pass it inside, and OSP ends up with it. Fry has it again, and let's see if they say that's a three-pointer. Well, it doesn't matter because that was no good, and it's rebounded there by Lenahan, so Lenahan's got it for the Gems. Lenahan, a little bit of a half-court press there, but she's able to beat it. Lenahan down into the short corner. That's a shot. That's up, and that's short. And that was short there by Jennings. She had a good look at it. She probably could have driven that ball into the paint if she wanted to, but she decided to take the jumper instead, and that did not work out for her, so OSP ends up with it. Cummings. Back to Fry up top. Guarded by Murray. Fry. Keeping it herself, looking for somebody to pass to. She finds Colath. And she tries a bounce pass, but nobody's there, and it's taken by the Gems. As Coryell gets ready to check back in for OSP. Spin move on the other end. That's up, and that's no good for Nilsson. And it's taken by OSP. That was Williams on the rebound. And so, Colath bringing the ball up the floor, and she is met once she gets across half court by Lenahan. Colath pass it outside to Cummings. Cummings tripped up there, and that's going to be a foul on Shea. That's the second team foul on the Gems this half, as Colath and Fry will sit, and Gupta and Coryell will check back in. Nope, there's another sub, it looks like, too. Late substitution there, Johnson. And she'll be subbing in for Cummings. Cummings is going to get a little breather here. So everything is set, and Williams will inbound it for OSP. She inbounds it to Gupta. Gupta. Met there by Murray. She gives it off to Coryell. Coryell. Dangerous pass inside, but she's able to find Williams. And that's a foul on Nilsson. That's the third Gems foul. So 2 quick team fouls here for the Gems. And OSP has it. That's Coryell, who's tied up. Coryell, over it comes to Hughes. Hughes up at the top. She gives it off to Gupta. Into the right corner, that's Johnson. Johnson has it poked out of her hands, and it's going to remain OSP ball. That was Nilsson, who just got her hand in there and knocked the ball out of bounds, as checking into the ball game for the Gems will be Pentrack. Sitting will be Nilsson. Inbounds to Gupta. She's guarded by Murray. Gupta over to the right wing, and Williams. Williams, bounce pass into the low post. Back outside to Gupta. She'll attempt a three-pointer, and that is short. And loose ball, it's taken by Williams, who puts it back up and in. So Williams off of the offensive board, puts 2 on the board for OSP. It's 23-17 now. Gems with a 6-point advantage. Falk. She'll try to answer with a 3 of her own. That's going to be an air ball and out of bounds, and back to OSP it will go. She had a wide open look at it, just wasn't able to put the ball in the hole. And OSP gets the ball back. Coryell over to Gupta on the right wing, guarded by Murray. Back up top to Williams. Williams, she's guarded by Falk. Back outside to Gupta. That's a 2-pointer. She had her foot on the line. That's short. And underneath, that is Williams who gets it back. She puts it up and not able to put it up and in that time. Of course, last possession, she was able to get points off of an offensive rebound. Not able to do it that time. As a matter of fact, the Gems end up with it, and Williams gets called for a foul. She was trying to go for the jump ball there, but wasn't able to do it. They say that she got more body than she did ball, and it is Gems ball. That, by the way, the first team foul on OSP the second half. Gupta guards Falk. Falk drives it into the lane, takes it herself, puts it up with the left hand. That's no good, and rebounded by OSP. Gupta to play the point to bring the ball up the floor for Ohio Sports Plus. Gupta over to Williams. Williams with a shot. That's a two-pointer that's up and no good. And it's rebounded there by Johnson. So Johnson ends up with it. Pass outside to Gupta. Gupta to the elbow. Back outside to Williams on the right wing. Inside it goes to Johnson. Johnson with a bounce pass. That's taken away by Lenahan. Lenahan's got it for the Gems. Lenahan pushing the ball to the floor. It's 1-on-2 right now. Lenahan puts it up and no good. It's rebounded by Murray, and that one's no good. And then that one was taken by Jennings, and Jennings on her way up. They're going to say, nope, there was no whistle. That was from the other court, so Jennings just flat out had it stripped away from her, and it's OSP's ball. Gupta on the other end. Bumped by Murray, and they're going to say a foul on Murray. That's the fourth Gems foul. So 3 fouls away from shooting foul shots is OSP. As Williams tries to find somebody to inbound it to, and she finally does. She finds Hughes. Gives it off to Corial. Over to the right. That is Gupta. Back up top to Williams. She's guarded by Murray. Over to Corial on the left wing. Corial gives it off to Williams. Williams at the foul line. That's a shot that's up, and it rims in there for her. And so Williams with 7 points here so far in this ball game. The score is 23-19. Timeout on the floor called by the Gems. We are at 5 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the second half, and we'll be back with said 5 minutes and 34 seconds right here on GBA TV. Back here at the Panther Classic, the score 23-19. The Gems lead OSP by 4. We're at 5:34 to go here in the second half of this one. It's been a good one here, this 8th grade game, as it looks like she just asked the referee. She just realized her shoe was untied, so she asked the referee for a couple seconds to do it. He allowed her to do it, and we are set for play here. That was Pentrack, by the way, who inbounds that ball and then gets the ball back for the Gems. Over to Falk, who comes up top. Falk is going to pass it off. Having some trouble with it is Jennings. Jennings gets it back. She's going to drive it in the lane, put it up, and bank it in there. That is good for 2. 25-19. The Gems back on top by 6. Kolath guarded by Falk. Over to the right, and Gupta. Lenahan reaches in and ties it up, and that possession arrow will favor the Gems, so good job there. That's essentially a Lenahan steal there for the Gems. Won't go into the scorebooks as one, but that possession arrow favors the Gems, and so it will be the Gems with it, and it'll be Pentrack to inbound it. As Falk gets the call from the sideline. She's guarded by Gupta. Over to the right. And back up top. That's Pentrack with it. Pentrack is going to drive it in the lane, put it up, and no good. Rebounded by Williams. She gives it back to Kolath. With her team down by half a dozen, there's a steal by Pentrack. Pentrack has it back for the Gems. Intercepted that pass, and Pentrack gets the call from the Gems sideline, and she's met by Johnson. Into the lane, and Falk back out to Jennings, and that's no good, and that's taken by Corial. Corial pushing the ball down the floor. Corial Going to try to take it coast to coast. Put it up on the baseline, and that's no good. Rebounded by Williams. Williams underneath, and she's fouled on her way up, and so Williams will step up to the free throw line where she is 3 of 4. That's 75% here. Not too shabby on the afternoon, and she will attempt 2. That, by the way, the 5th team foul on the Gems. Williams. First free throw is up, and it's good. 3 substitutions to speak of here. Fry as well as Hughes and Cummings. And sitting will be Johnson as well as Corial and Gupta for OSP. As Jennings takes a seat for the Gems. And I do believe that was Reingold who checked back into the ball game. And that second shot is up, and it rims out on Williams. And so the score is 25-20. The Gems lead OSP, and there's a strip by Williams. And who's going to end up with this? I do believe this is going to go back to the Gems. Yet, because Williams stripped it, and then Cummings was the last to touch it before it went out of bounds. And so the Gems will retain possession. Falk into the lane, dishing it outside to Nilsson. Nilsson on the elbow. Nilsson's going to attempt a shot, tried to bank it in there. That's no good, and it's chased down by Fry. So OSP gets the ball back. They're down by 5, by the way. And we're at 3.5 to go in the second half. Williams on the left wing, into the left corner. And back up top it comes to Kolath. 4-3, no good. Out of bounds and back to the Gems. Kolath tried to surprise three-pointer there, just didn't quite work out for her. And so, with the Gems clinging to that 5-point advantage, they get the ball back. Over to the left wing. That's Reingold. Back up top to Falk. Falk guarded by Kolath. On to the right wing. Low post. Pivoting. Shooting. Nilsson. Good. And they're going to say she was fouled on her way up, so it's an and one opportunity here for the Gems. Only the second team foul on OSP, but kind of comes at an inopportune time because we're under 3 minutes to go, and OSP is down by 7. And we'll see what Nilsson here does. Shot is up, and it's short. So it's a 27-20 game. And there's a three-pointer. That's up. That's no good for Hughes, and it's chased down by the Gems. That was number 1, Shea, on the rebound as Falk gets it. Falk pushing the ball up the floor. Falk stops, shoots, no good. Rebounded there by, well, looked like OSP had it, but then Cummings was tied up, and they call a jump ball, but the possession arrow will favor OSP. So Kolath has it. On the left wing goes to Hughes. Bounce pass over to Cummings. Underneath to Williams. She puts it up and in there. So 27-22 now the score. OSP once again cuts the lead to 5 for the Hidden Gems. We're just a little over 2 to go here in the second half. And timeout called on the floor by the Gems. All right, so with 2:03 to go here in the second half, the Gems lead at 27-22. The Gems with 5 team fouls, OSP with 2 team fouls. We'll be back with the rest of this one at the Panther Classic at Capital University right here on GBA TV. Back here at the Panther Classic, this 8th grade game between the Hidden Gems and OSP. She's a pretty good one here. We're at a little over 2 minutes to go here in the second half. 2:03 exactly. The score 27-22. The Gems lead OSP. Jeremy Scott here at courtside. And it looks like they're trying to decide who's going to inbound this ball for the Gems. They, by the way, called that last time out. That's going to be Pentrak to inbound it, and she does. Pentrak gets it back. She's going to take the drive. She's going to pass it off. And they're going to try to run some clock off here, I do believe, because there were a couple of open shots there the Gems could have taken and elected not to take them. So that tells me that's what the strategy here is. Pentrak has it now. Pentrak into the lane. She's going to put it up, and bank shot is no good. And it's rebounded by Cummings. OSP pushing the ball back down the floor now. That's Kolath. Over the left, and Hughes. Back outside to Shea. I'm sorry, that's not Shea, that's Fry on the drive. That's up, and that's no good. And there's a loose ball, and there's going to be a travel, and they're going to say that travel is on Pentrak and the Gems. So Pentrak cleanly, they say, had that rebound, but then she went to the floor with it, and body parts moved while she was on the floor, and so OSP gets the ball back, down 5. Quick shot there by Kolath, that's short, but underneath the hoop is Williams, not able to get it. Boy, I tell you what, there was a golden opportunity there. That essentially would have amounted to a pass if Williams had been able to corral that ball cleanly and put it back up, but she wasn't able to do so, and so the Gems are up by 5, and they also have the ball with 1:15 and winding here on the second half clock. That's Lenahan. Lenahan, guarded by Cummings. Passing it outside to Pentrak. Pentrak at the foul line, spinning into the lane, putting it up, and no good. Rebounded by Williams. And we're at under a minute to play. 27-22. OSP down 5. They've got the ball. Kolath in the lane. Puts it up underhanded. That's no good. Rebounded by Pentrak. And then it's intercepted by OSP. That's Fry with a quick shot. That's up and good. So just when you think the Gems have it in the bag, I tell you what, OSP does a good job of staying alive. So timeout on the floor. They say the timeout was called before any foul could be called. So with the score, 27-24, 34.8 seconds to go here in the second half. Boy, I tell you what, I just was told by Brian Williams here, who's manning the camera for us, this is the fourth game in a row? Yeah, fourth game in a row that this has come down to this kind of a close game for OSP, 3 points or less. So I tell you what, they're used to these nail biters. Can they pull this one out? We'll find out right after this here on GBA TV. And so it's Gems ball. They lead it by 3 with a little over 34 seconds to go. And then trapped in the backcourt are the Gems, and they're going to say it's going to go off of OSP. But I tell you, that full court press is working for them so far. Gems are going to have to do more than that to beat that press. Inbounds it comes, and it looks like the Gems will beat it. That is Lenahan who has got it. Lenahan into the front court. To Falk. Falk into the lane. She's going to drive it herself, put it up, no good. OSP on the rebound. And so OSP, with 17.7 seconds left, will call a timeout. We're due for a really good finish here at this 8th grade game. It is the Panther Classic at Capital University in the shadows of beautiful Columbus, Ohio, here in Bexley. And we'll be back with the conclusion of this really good game right here on GBA TV. So here we go, 17.7 seconds left, OSP down 3. What'll happen here? Kolath is going to attempt a quick three-pointer. That's no good, that's short. The Gems chase it down. That's Falk on the rebound, and Fry is called with the foul, but that's only the OSP third foul. That's only the third foul on OSP. All right, so with that being the case, 7.7 seconds left. OSP is going to have to hope for a steal here because it's going to take a lot of time for them to get into the bonus here. Okay, there's another foul on Fry. That is the 4th team foul on OSP. As Johnson gets set to check back in, she will check back in, and that will be Fry to check out. Gems to inbound, and they do. And getting fouled pretty quickly is Shea. And that's the 5th team foul on OSP. 4.5 seconds left. There's an outlet pass that's almost stolen away, and there's a loose ball, and that's not what you wanted if you're an OSP fan. And the Gems will hang on and win this one with the final score, 27-24. What a great game it was. Well played by both of these 8th grade teams, and we'll be back with more action all day long right here on GBA.